What's going on, y'all? It's Kim. Second episode of Solutions. First and foremost, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. We're open to constructive criticism, so drop y'all thoughts in the comment. We will respond because, you know what I'm saying, with these videos, the main focus is to have an impact and to... What is my problem, bro? Man, out today just like, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I kind of want to start with that because it's like, bro, sometimes you're gonna get up and you're gonna know that you're walking in your purpose and it's gonna be like, bro, like, what am I doing? And it's gonna be days where it's not gonna feel too crazy, but you know you walking in your purpose and that helps you get through it. But you're gonna find yourself like I just was a few seconds ago, like either jumbling over your words or feeling at a loss for words or struggling to get out what you're trying to say, or if you're doing something that's physical, like put in work, like, bro, like, don't let it stop you. Don't allow the past to keep you from what you're moving into. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was the actual topic for today, is allowing your past to have an effect on you. Don't allow the past to influence your future, which is easier said than done, but I really want to immediately start with sports because I feel like that's the easiest way to create an analogy out of it. If you were a basketball player, like say you were a shooting guard and you just airballed, or you were a point guard and you just had 2 turnovers in a row, that first turnover is like, you know, it's whatever. But that second turnover is like, man, now you got your hand on your head, you might be walking back on defense. Even though you're a star player, it's still a bad look for people that are looking at you for the next level. Or if you're already at the pro level, it's weighing on you mentally, which, if we being honest, is more important than what is actually taking place, what has actually taken place, what has manifested into the physical already, because your mentality combined with what you learn from the mistakes that you made is what will ultimately allow you to grow and to scale into that said space that you see yourself in the future, that you envision yourself in. Whenever you think about something that you want to do, don't think imagine, think envision. Because when you change your language, when you change how you process things, how you view things, the things that you look at change. And when it comes to sports, it's all about your opportunity, and don't allow people to discourage you. A lot of people will have opinions that they inflict upon you because of their past, because of their experiences. I personally used to play basketball, and nowadays whenever I'm around some of my family members or on either side, it's like, you still hooping? And I'm like, no. And they like, you quit so early. And it's like, a lot of people won't understand what you're doing until it comes to fruition. So you have to have that childlike faith and that laser focus to look past everything that has happened to you in the past and what your family has a history of, because you are in a different world than your parents were in, and the world today is not the same it was yesterday. So it's like every day is a new opportunity. And when you understand that, you walk in it, and when you make mistakes, you understand that it wasn't a loss, it was a lesson. And when you learn from it, that's when it's officially a W. A loss is only a loss when you don't learn from it. If you had that turnover, you need to learn that, okay, he jumping. So you know when your small forward cut, he gonna be wide open. And you tell your forward to cut because his man is playing a pass. So now he getting boomed on. Now you got a game-winning play. You could throw the oop for game. Now that was the first alternative to you turning the ball over and allowing it to affect you, because now the momentum is on their end. The ball is in your hands. Literally, the ball is in your hands. And this is not just for athletes. If you're a business owner, if you're a college student, if you're somebody that just got out of high school that don't know what you want to do, like literally today, I bought my pops a Christmas gift. We're going to leave it at that. And the girl that rung me up, I was like, man, like I keep but I used to work at Amazon, and I make sure to keep this on my wallet because it's a reminder that who I am today is not who I was yesterday. And it reminds me that I serve a big God, and no matter what comes my way, I can get through it. Now, working at Amazon may not seem like the end of the world for you, and it wasn't for me, but it was a stepping stone. And seeing that always gives me that mental connection, especially when God is speaking. Like, say I'm dealing with something, I'm struggling, and my wallet just sitting on the dresser, and I just happen to look over and notice my wallet. Like, when it comes to you walking in your purpose and actually focusing on the future and learning from your mistakes, you're going to come to a point where you know that you can't look for signs. You have to notice them. They have to come to you. You have to do what you can and allow everything else to fall into place. When you notice signs instead of seeking them, you'll be fulfilled. You will see answers. And say I look over and I notice that Amazon sticker on my wallet. It's like, man, what I'm tripping over today, who would have thought I would be doing something at this level coming from packing singles at Amazon? You know, like that mentality, it's what's going to allow you to take your life and ultimately your succession of the family to the next level. Because we're at a stage where there's a world full of opportunities, and the people that benefit from those opportunities are the ones that understand and they capitalize, and they don't allow anyone to talk them out of their opportunity. You know, we have a history, and this is for my Black people, and this is speaking from experience. This is not from a hypocritical perspective. We have a victim mentality. Oh, well, they did that, and what it comes down to is you have to focus on your opportunity. You have to focus on the options that are being presented to you. Because when you focus on the future, which is something that is up in the air until you make a decision, like if you're jogging and you decide to take a hard cut, you know, that's something that you had thought of past. Now, if you knew that you should have took that turn, but you a few blocks down, now you can't go back in time and change that. And that's not the greatest way to encourage someone that what they're going through can be changed, but it is a mentality that you have to obtain in order to get through what you're dealing with. Because you're going to realize that, okay, well, I could have took that right, but I didn't. Well, how can I get there? When you take that same mentality and apply it to the purpose that's been in your life, things that you've been around your entire life, you will see your purpose. When you take that mentality and apply it to the things that you've been around your entire life, you will see your purpose. Well, how can I? When it's how can I instead of I can't, instead of I can't afford, instead of I can't do that, instead of I'm not strong enough, instead of I'm not good enough, it's how can I get there? Because even if you contributing 1% towards what you know you're really destined for, that's better than going backwards. Because if you're not going forwards, you're going backwards. Especially in today's world where everything is instantaneous, everything is microwaved. You can be the one person in your family that put that solution in the oven and let it cook down. Because when you serve it, people gonna love it. But if you got a microwave solution, it's gonna be temporary. People gonna realize that it's not really who you are. People gonna realize that you allowed that person that gave you that bad review on your baked mac and cheese to stop you from putting in work for real, not knowing that you were really supposed to be the next large scale, say, I don't know, Gordon Ramsay. Like, allow that to encourage you, allow that to uplift you, learn from your experiences. Because I guarantee you, people that are truly in a position that they're comfortable, in a position where they know they're walking in what they were designed to do, they won't judge you for making mistakes. Because mistakes are a part of the process. That's one thing that you have to learn, regardless of what your purpose is. Even if you're not meant to be a business owner, you will have to learn from your mistakes in order to move forward. And along with learning from your mistakes is a mentality that you can't avoid. You have to focus on the future. You have to focus on your opportunities. Because as long as you focused on the past, the future will take advantage of you. Are you taking advantage of the future, or is the future taking advantage of you? And God put this on my heart. I want to speak specifically for relationships because I can speak from personal experiences, from seeing, I'm going to say my family specifically. Don't allow your past experiences in relationships to prevent you from walking into the relationship that's really for you. Because say your partner has a level of appreciation for you. The enemy is going to send people that may look like something that you want. They may be your type. They may be somebody that you came across while you were just doing whatever. Say you just out here doing whatever, trying to find yourself. When you take those experiences and you learn from them and you apply that to your thought process when you're determining who you're going to give your time to, basically, that's what allows you to be groomed into a position where, first of all, you're okay with being alone. I'm going to say being single. Not everybody is alone. You're okay with being single. And that's one thing that you have to grow into before you can come together with one person. We call it becoming one flesh. You have to be whole. You can't be half and she half. Or, like if you're a woman, he had, like, it can't be like that. Because if both of y'all coming to the table with 50%, there are going to be problems that you all are trying to solve in each other. And it's like, it's one thing to do that from a business perspective, but from a interpersonal perspective, that's difficult, because when they don't see things the way that you see them, it may be misperceived and you may get defensive because of past relationships. Now you're allowing the past to affect what's really for you, instead of taking it, say you came into the relationship whole. You came in whole. You like, I'm good. Now you hear what she says for what she's saying, not for how she says it. And on top of that, you wouldn't get into this relationship in the first place if she was a strong talking woman. You wouldn't get into it in the first place if she was coming at you and you had to focus on what she was saying and not how she was saying it. Because when you take the past, when you take the L's and learn from them, you're not going to get into that relationship in the first place. Or you may dibble and dabble in it, but when the tendencies arise, you'll know and you can differentiate. Now you can make an immediate decision. And on top of that, not everything is going to be set in stone. Not everybody is perfect. That's why I personally advocate for God, because he's the one that makes my path clear. And I don't want to, go hard like that, but I have to, because it's so many people that are lost. It's people that think they know what they're doing or know that they're in the right place, but don't know how to go about doing it or don't know how to deal with certain situations. He's the one that gave me that clarity. And I'm going to be honest, in life in general, it's always going to be times where it's like, what is happening? Even if you're not locked in with God, it's going to be like, I don't know what's going on. And then a month or so later, however the timelines align, you're going to look back and you're going to realize, like, man, that had to happen. I had to go to Amazon because there were people that I had to pour into, I had to influence. At the time, when I first got there, I was grateful. Then it got to a stage where it's like, okay, Lord, what am I doing? And I'm not going to harp on this too much because I spoke about it previously. Y'all should go check that video out. It's on the Rumi's page. He may drop it below. He may not. No, but like, definitely allow yourself to remove the smoke screen. When you make decisions before the smoke screen clears, that's when you mess up. That's when you steer yourself wrong. Because the best way, especially in basketball, people say, let the game come to you. And I'll use a lot of basketball analogies, so I pray that y'all are the athletes so y'all understand what I'm saying. But like, let the game come to you. And it's like, life is the same way. You have to let it come to you. Now, that's easier said than done, because oftentimes there are situations that cause you to make timely decisions before you're confident in the path to take, which is ultimately how businesses start. I'm going to be honest. Like, in order for you to do better, in order for you to better yourself, in order for you to go out and provide for your family, you have to take risks. And a lot of people, I had a family member that discouraged me from getting into real estate specifically, which is sometimes your brain is not going to cooperate. Just take a step back, reset, and jump back into it. Like, when people, especially loved ones that just want the best for you but don't know any better. For example, I had a family member that discouraged me from investing in the real estate because of a poor experience that he had as an individual. And that was one individual, one experience, one property. So it's like, you don't want to allow someone that bought a property in the hundreds that had a bad tenant to discourage you from investing in the property on like the low end, like in Bronzeville. Of course that property is going to be lucrative. Okay, you may get some bad tenants. That's why you learn from it, and then you go find a better realtor that has a better tenant screening process. That type of stuff is directly indicative of your ability to directly connected to your ability to learn from your past experiences and add them to your arsenal. If you don't have no scars on your face, nobody will know you a warrior. And at the same time, for those of y'all that say you are a business owner, say you do have the scars, you have gone through it, don't make it harder for your offspring. Don't make it harder for the younger generation, because the idea is, especially as Black people, you have to share. We're at a stage where if the people that know how don't share, the young ones will be lost forever, because now everything is instant gratification, because kids are spoiled. And on top of that, those that do know what to do, the money is coming fast, but they're not looking to share because they weren't raised to collaborate. They were raised to get yours, make it out the hood, basically. That it's blurred lines. It's a blurred lines type of situation, because it's a vicious cycle from a mass perspective. It's a virtuous cycle for you and your family specifically. For example, say you're a rapper, you make it out, and it's like, you can't keep producing the type of music that contributes to the degradation of your community. You can't keep continuing to do the same things, because ultimately, regardless of how much money you make, it will catch up with you, whether that be physically or mentally. You're going to come to a point to where you're going to hit a wall. And it's like, I'm still downplaying like, if you're 40, 50, still making music that's degrading the community, like, you're a part of the problem. There's a difference between making music and reflecting on the past and glorifying the destruction of your own community. If you're talking about your past and then you create a story out of it, and then you use that to basically show the youth, like Herb was like, stop all that dumbass senseless killing, like, that's real. Like, use it to encourage the youth to seek your opportunity. Herb even got a song, I think it's called High School. Like, no, the lady, the interview, she was like, no, we don't encourage our kids to drop out. But Herb is very intelligent. Herb took his opportunity. You have to take that and apply it to yourself before responsibilities hit you. If you're in high school, say you getting to that junior, senior age, or you just graduated high school and you don't know what to do, or you in college, you undecided, or you in college and you got a major that you don't care for, like, take time, step away from all of your influences, minimize the noise as much as possible, like literally and mentally. But you can only do it mentally when you separate yourself physically, because now you clearly hear all of the things that are going on and you write everything down. And when you write everything down, take another page. This may be an entirely different notebook, because here, this notebook is for the past. This notebook is for your future. For your past, you write down everything that's going on. And for your future, you write down everything out of what you have written down that is in alignment, that is directly connected with what it is that you believe you're working towards, or what it is you believe you were designed to do. So when you do that, now you have a notebook of the past. Now you have a playbook. Now you have something to learn from. Now you have something to refer to. Okay, now when you go from, your company goes from, say, 10,000 to 100,000, now you looking back and you like, well, I know that it's best for me to say I gotta buy a new moving truck before the truck goes out. Say you setting up a stash, you stashing money away, you saving up for that truck as your money is coming in. Now you prepared, because when you were a $10,000 company, you went and bought a random truck on the street, which made sense due to your budget at the time, but as you scale, you know it's worth the investment. Your past is what allows you to differentiate between investments and liabilities. Liabilities can be marketed as investments sometimes. You say you have a trucking company. Used truck with, I don't know what a good example is, but say a bad example is 200,000 miles. You know you don't want to buy a truck with 200,000 miles on it. So you take a portion of your cash flow, you allocate your budget. When you say past experiences, learn from your people's experiences, which is what I was getting at when I mentioned, say you're experienced, like pour that into the youth. Allow them to carry the torch. Don't make them start over because they need to learn a lesson. They like instill in them what you have and tell them where you went wrong so they can take everything that you have and scale it. And you have to instill that in them. You have to instill purpose, because once you scale to a large scale, when you scale to a larger company, it's going to be more about your mission than it is about profit. Now, I'm speaking from an outside perspective. Of course, I'm not there yet, but what it comes down to is we can look from the outside looking in. You have kids that are born, that come into this inheritance, and their kids, their parents, they got up and made theirs, and they just put out their best for their kids. And that can be bad, because now it's like they have nothing to live for. They don't understand why you did it in the first place. If why you did it in the first place was purely profit, they won't have the same drive as you. They won't have that level of understanding. They won't have that level of appreciation. That's why there are wealthy people that are taking their lives, because it's not about how much you accumulate. It's about what you accumulate and how you got there. Your level of appreciation. In basketball, the muscles that you work for, you appreciate them more. The people that go through injuries and come back, they have a chip on their shoulder because they know they work for that. When they come back, they cry the hardest. It's not just, oh, I'm winning, that's whatever. Like, no, you appreciate it more. And that level of appreciation, when you tap into whatever it is that you appreciate as an individual by isolating yourself from everything else and separating the past from the future, you allow yourself to walk into what it is that you were called to do. You allow yourself to remove the smoke screen and clearly see what it is that you were supposed to learn from that situation, and you apply it. That's why in a city like Chicago, there are an abundance of people that just get older but don't grow up. And that's why our people are in the same cycles we've been in for years. If you read The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson, that book was published at least in the 1900s, like at least early 1900s, if not late 1800s. You would be almost certain that was written recently. Like, I gotta come back with some concrete, because I haven't read that in a minute. But I'm gonna wrap it up with that. Like, don't allow your past experiences to hinder you moving forward. Allow them to solidify themselves, because it's already sorted. Allow them to solidify themselves as stepping stones. Okay, they throwing bricks at you. Make a pallet so you can get out of the hole. Okay, they pouring dirt on top of you. The more dirt that they pour into the hole is gonna get more shallow over time. When you assume that mentality, instead of looking at the ground and focusing on how much dirt is accumulating around your feet, you can realize that I can climb out of this. You can realize that this is really meant to build me up, not to bury me. And when you assume a building mentality, real builders know that it's one brick at a time. You build your life brick by brick, which is the same for businesses, which is the same for relationships. The only difference is in businesses and relationships, you have to start that foundation with the things that you've learned prior to jumping off the porch into your opportunity. Now you walking into it well equipped. Now you walking into it with a level of confidence. Even if you don't have the mental capacity, you've networked enough to the point where you know that you don't have to do everything. To the point to where you know that the people that are actually at a level where they've delegated and where they're reaping what it's not truly passive income, because you're still looking over the the finances, which is something that you have to learn. Okay, you don't care for numbers, you don't care for math. You have to know how to read financial statements. You have to know how to read a personal financial statement. You have to know how to read P&Ls. You know how to do payroll. Like, if you don't, people are going to take advantage of you. If you're not in a position where you want to be, it's because you haven't learned from something in the past and applied it intentionally. When you learn and apply intentionally, every situation you're going to see is a brick. And it's going to end up in this notebook. It's going to end up in the positive notebook. And then you're going to look back and there's going to be a transformation. You're going to realize that now you're getting to a point to where your positive notebook has more pages than your negative notebook. And now you have more to share. Now you're a better individual. Now you're better equipped. Now you're more confident. Now you understand that the past is in the previous, and allow it to project you forward. All right. So that's it. God had you make this for a specific. I ain't gonna say nothing. But if this resonates with you, lock in and apply it. Whatever is on your mind, write it down. If it's negative, get 2 different notebooks. And when you start to see why certain things happen, that's when you go get your second notebook. And make sure you keep the 2 separate. So with that said, I love y'all. We are doing weekly drops. And make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. It's your boy Cam. We out.